Good morning and welcome along to our Staying Well While Staying Home series, a collaboration between Siel, Bleu Ireland and the Irish Cancer Society. So delighted to be back this morning, thanks to my colleague Cormac who filled in last week. I'll be bringing you through the workout again today. Usual considerations, just we have nice space. Just make sure we're feeling well on the day in terms of participation, and if you feel unwell or any pain with any movement, just to immediately stop the exercise. Just noting it is a little bit warmer today where I am, so maybe just factoring in the importance of that bottle of water, maybe having a window open also. We will use weight in the session, have a good strong chair you can use, and I will lead the majority of this work in standing, but we will use the chair for a couple of movements. So, as we tip in, final message, if there's any issue with the stream, we will start a fresh feed on our YouTube page, but touch wood, no issues with that. So let's begin with our warm-up. So I'm going to start off just checking in with the shoulders, just very simply to begin. Just where I always like to start, the shoulders, and they will be active in the session. I'm just going to begin with a little bit of movement in the shoulders, slowly rolling backwards, just to create any movement at all in this position. If I then change direction and guide the shoulders forward in circles, just guiding those shoulders forward in circles. Now, from here, I'm just going to take it into a march. I'm really just starting to switch the body on now. Okay, so just marching on the spot. From this position, just going to start off reaching out to the sides again, just checking in with the shoulder. Just opening up, stretching out, continuing to march, and now just reaching across the body, side to side. Just make sure everything's okay. Morning, Deborah, I think the admin. Thanks for looking after everything. Good to see everything's working all right there. Any questions, any issues along the way, don't be afraid to just let me know in the comments. That's absolutely fine. As ever, after the session, if there's any comments just on the difficulty, if you enjoyed the session, anything like that, just to let me know. Okay, just relax those arms down. Next action, just want to start off guiding those heels out in front, just tapping heels to floor. If that feels okay, let's introduce a little bit of movement with the arms. So you can see I'm just moving from the elbows, hands towards shoulders, and just guiding heel towards floor. And from there, just return, bringing it back to a march. Perfect, thanks Deborah. Now, just taking the hands up. Movement I like to do a lot in the warm-up, but for me it's just keeping it dynamic, moving, lots of different movements, checking in with different body parts. So you'll see the hands are up, take a step to the right and press, take a step to the left and press. So just a really nice smooth action, pushing out from chest and just stepping side to side with the body. And then I'll just return, bringing it back to a march. Next action, just going to check in with the legs, just curling the leg back, heel towards bum, just curling that leg behind. Again, if that feels okay, might like to just introduce a little bit of movement with the arms again. Just moving from the elbows, hands towards shoulders, as we curl the leg back. And return. Just pausing the feet briefly. I want to bring my hands, so physically interlace. Bring the fingers together. You'll see the elbows are up. Rotate to the right. Rotate to the left. I'm just going to allow a little bit of movement with my head just to follow that action. And just think now about the upper body in general, switching on, a little bit of a stretch through the back. Just gently opening side to side, over to the right, over to the left. Just exploring that little bit of space, just creating a little bit of movement here, side to side. And once more, and back down. Now, just taking those arms out, just going to bring in a light march and just pulling back. So just think of a rowing action. Again, the purpose here is just checking in with the back of the body. If everything feels good, see how I just reach out and pull back. Just showing you from different angles, reaching forward, pulling back. And just finishing out in front, reaching forward, pulling back. Okay. If that one felt okay, just going to check in a little bit with the shoulders again. Just want left arm will raise in front, right arm out to the side, and then swap. Just want to switch sides every time. Continuing to march, just opening one arm in front, opening one arm out to the side. It's just switching between the positions. Okay, just continuing to march it out. Just want to check in with the shoulder one at a time. Right hand to my shoulder and just guide that elbow, drawing circles, a little bit of movement through that shoulder. I'm going backwards and then I'll change direction and just guide it forward. Swapping sides, left hands to my shoulder. I'll think about that elbow, just drawing circles. I'll go backwards, doesn't really matter which way. So we'll work through the two. And I'll change, guiding that shoulder forward in circles now. Okay. Dropping it down, just showing you this movement from the side position. Stretch the legs back next. That chair always available if I need. Just guide your toes towards the floor. We will actually tie this kind of pattern in with the weighted movements in our main circuit. So just kind of gauge, how does this feel? Does this feel comfortable? Am I happy in terms of balance? And just the mechanics of this movement, everything feeling good. Just stretch the leg back, guiding toes towards floor. Okay, and then we'll just finish out marching. I'm going to introduce us into our main block of work now. So mix of that kind of strength, cardiovascular work. We'll work all the big hitters areas like our, going to work the legs, shoulders. We'll have some kind of active movements in there, a little bit of walking. So just checking if you have space. If you don't have much space, you might just move on the spot, for example. So just to note that any movement feels uncomfortable, not happy during a movement, just to stop that particular exercise. If any in doubt, not really sure how to change the movement, a simple instruction I would always give is add a powerful march in, get the knees up, bring the arms in for the duration of the movement. If you're just not sure how to change a movement, but you want to keep yourself active moving, add that nice march in, a little bit of power with the arms and legs. Okay. So let's begin with our first movement. I'm going to show you from the side. I will just introduce this movement, show you how we can change it, and then I'm going to put the clock on. So no need to start just yet. We'll just introduce the first action. I'm going to hold on to my weight. I'm going to take one weight with my two hands. If you feel your weight is very easy, you might like to hold on to the two weights. But if this might be enough challenge, just you're holding the one. So I'm going to start in the seated position. What I want to do is work my right leg a little bit harder first. So I will place the left foot in front, so the right foot is back. I will hold the weight, and the action will be to stand and sit. So the leg that's in back, my right leg here, will work harder. If I'm uncomfortable, I can get rid of the weight, or just take it back to a regular stance. So if I don't like that, I feel there's too much load on the leg, I'll just take it back to a regular stance, okay? So let's put the clock on. We'll start off with about 20 seconds here, and I'll just work that from the top again. Start in the seated position, 2 hands on the waist, just in front of my chest here. Place the left foot in front. There's a bit of width between the 2 feet, but left foot is forward. It's really just there to assist. But the right leg will work hard. 3, 2, 1. Stand up nice and tall. Sitting fully back to the chair. So I want to always sit back to the chair with this particular variation today. Just think about placing more work, more load through that back right leg. Just adding that little bit of weight in for challenge also. I'm keeping those feet flat to the floor. The toes aren't lifting up or anything. I'm just keeping them nice and flat, grounded to the floor. Upper body stays straight. Standing up nice and tall. Returning back to the seated position. Just continuing on. Just kind of keeping it really smooth as we drop back. Just mindful if you feel that that chair is moving. Just that we're not crashing back into the chair. Let's keep lots of control. And I'm really feeling that right leg working hard. Go one more time. And back down. Next movement. I'm going to show you again how we can adapt this. I want to hold the weight 90 degrees. So you'll see the elbows in front, not needing to be too tight. Just want your shoulder to feel comfortable. So that might be out a little bit. Any issue with the shoulder, elbow, wrist, any kind of discomfort, drop the weight down to the side. But I will work from that 90-degree position. So let's start. Holding the weight on the right side, I just want to start walking up and down. Now, I want you to take note, that upper body, really important. Areas like my core, keeping it strong. If space is tight, you can just march on the spot. If space is good though, I think it's nice to physically move up and down if you have that space available. Thinking about that shoulder working hard. And just really important, remember, if this is not a good position, I want you just to hold the weight down by your sides, as if you were holding a suitcase in your hands. With that 90-degree position, if it feels okay. Again, shoulder, might feel that forearm. Keeping the position nice and strong. I'm not bending, I'm not arching, I'm not leaning to one side. Any point, just dropping that weight down to your side as required. And down. Drop the weight. Return back to the seated position. Okay, so I want you to take the weight in your 2 hands. And now I want to place the right foot forward. So the right foot forward, the left foot is back. The left leg will do most of the work. So holding the weight, 3, 2, 1, I begin. Standing up nice and tall, return back to seated position. Standing up tall, return to seated position. So say that right leg, it's really just there to support a little bit of assistance, but I'm feeling most of the work through that back left leg. I feel it's working harder, doing more of the work. Keeping that upper body nice and straight, just that we're not bending to stand up. My here as I stand, just breathing out and taking air back in as I lower. Again, if you don't like this position, you feel there's too much work on the leg, feels a little bit uncomfortable, you might just bring it back to a regular stance. And of course, you can take the weight out if there's more than enough challenge, just using your body weight. Feels a little bit easy. You might like to hold the 2 weights, but generally, just as we get familiar with this one again, I think the 1 weight may be sufficient today. And down. Okay. Reset. We're going to work the opposite side with our walk now. 90-degree position, hold the weight up. Again, any issue around shoulder, elbow, wrist, I want you to take that weight down to the side. But if it's comfortable, 90-degree position, not needing to be too tight, just want that shoulder to be comfortable as you perform this. Let's begin. Now, active through that left side. Again, keeping the body strong. That core switched on. Any kind of issue, not comfortable, you're dropping that weight down to your side. Absolutely fine to do so. Again, you can march on the spot. Maybe space is a little bit tight where you're working. But if you have the space available, I think it's nice to move in the position, just to use it while we have it. And really just getting a feel on this first round. The pace I like to work is moderate with the walk here. Not slow that I don't feel anything. Not too fast either, but just somewhere in a moderate kind of pace if that's comfortable. Really good challenge, very active, moving nicely with the weight. And finish. Okay, so that's our first phase complete. For the next exercise, I want you to take your second weight into play. We have our two weights. We're going to work the arms next, and we're going to add a little bit of extra challenge in. So, hold on to the weights. Palms are faced into my side. What I want to do is stretch the leg behind, tap toes to the floor, lift the weights up. Swap, tap the left foot back, lift the weights. Showing you from the side what I mean. Toes back and lift the weight. Toes back, lift the weight. See that upper body stays straight. I'm not tilting forward or arching, anything like that. Keep the body straight. We're just going to add a little bit of extra challenge in here, just simply by pointing the toes back. If that feels uncomfortable, unbalanced, you'll simply keep the position static. So just keeping the feet firmly in position as you lift weight up, down. Again, work through the arms, all the load, all the work through the arms. I just like to add little bits of variety when we work the arms. I know, just simply for challenge, maybe you have to work a little bit harder in this position. Again, keeping that core switched on. Just making sure we're balanced and strong through the position. Once more, and down. Drop your weights. Next movement, this is just free of any weight. What I want you to do is take the hands up. We're going to add a little bit of boxing here. If that kind of action, I don't want you to be too aggressive with it, but if boxing is a bit uncomfortable, simply add an arm reach. So just lightly reach the arm forward. But if the boxing is comfortable, hands up, lift the right knee, press with right arm, and then left. So a light box on each side whilst lifting the knee. Again, I'm keeping that body comfortable. You see, I'm not kind of crunching down or anything like that too tight, just keeping it comfortable, a nice strong upper body position. Lift the knee and just punch. Nothing too aggressive that I'm feeling uncomfortable. And as I say, if there's any kind of discomfort with the shoulder, you might find just a reach is a little bit more comfortable on this one, like so. Again, mindful of balance. You can hear as I talk, there's that exertion, maybe a little bit of a pant as I talk, because I'm active through this position. So if I find it's a little bit too hard, feeling breathless, you're going to slow it down. It feels very easy. Might just add a little bit more pace into the movement. Last couple of seconds to finish out. 3, 2, 1, and down. One final action in this first round. Okay, so again, similar aerobic movement, but we'll also get a lovely connection with the back here. So I'm going to start this off and build it up. So what I want you to do is make sure you have a little bit of space either side. Your arms are out. Step to the right, and I want you to row. Step to the left and row. So just reach out with the arms and then pull back. Now, if that feels comfortable, side to side is fine, no issue. I want you to take it into a double step. So 1, 2, and back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 2 steps to the right whilst rowing, 2 steps to the left. Just keeping it really active during this movement. If you feel maybe there's a little bit too much now, not entirely happy with balance, you might just strip it back, and you can see how it can just keep it very much simpler side to side, even just keeping it static on the spot if I need. But you're building it up if it feels good. Again, just keeping it active during this movement, side to side, and rowing. And back once more. And down. Okay. First round finished. Sip of water if you need. Asking yourself how that all felt. You know, really tough, breathless, can't talk in a full sentence. Sign you're working too hard. So if I asked you to talk your give me your address, for example, you'd be able to get all the words out. You're not breathless, unable to do so. You're not in pain with any movement. And again, maybe if you're kind of pumping sweat, really uncomfortable, we want to step it back. But if you feel challenged, maybe a little bit of a pant, a light sweat, sign you're working hard, that's okay. Once every movement feels good to you. So let's begin going back to the start. And again, make any change that you need during this circuit if the movement doesn't feel good. So I'm going to bring it back to the chair. I'm going to take my weight into my 2 hands. I will place my left foot forward, so the right leg is going to work harder. Left foot forward, right foot back, holding my 2 weights. 3, 2, 1, I begin. Stand up tall, return back to chair. Just straight up and back down. If I do not like this position, you'll see how I just change the stance and I just go for a regular up-down motion. So if you feel there's too much work on that right leg, I'll just bring the feet beside each other and spread the weight more evenly. With this version, the idea is to work one leg at a time, that little bit harder. Stand up tall, exhale, refuel as I go down. Just keeping that little bit of control. Naturally, maybe as we push through the circuit, we can start to speed up. But let's keep that little bit of control with a movement like this. Big, strong, powerful action. I don't want to rush this movement. Just keeping a little bit of control, particularly on that descent. I don't want to crash back into that chair. I don't want to feel that chair moving back. Once more. And down. Moving into the walking next. Again, if you have space, like yourself, you're going to walk up, down, keeping it on the spot if tight with space. 90 degree, elbow isn't too tight, just want that shoulder to be comfortable. Hold the weight. Any issue, discomfort, weight down by my side. Let's begin. 3, 2, 1, and walk. Again, a nice moderate pace. I can still talk through this action, but you can also hear that little bit of exertion in my voice. You can hear I'm not resting. I'm working active through the movements. I think a good challenge. Very important, you have plenty of space if you're walking like me, but just marching on the spot if space is at a premium where you're working out. Now, it may feel okay to start, but if you do feel it gets very tired, drop it down and you can continue the action. Just continuing the last couple of times, or last couple of seconds if you're on the spot there. And I'll return. Okay, dropping the weight down, returning back to the seated position. Take hold of your weight with your two hands, and we'll return to the chair. Now, I want to place my right foot forward, left foot back. So I will work that back left leg a little bit harder. Holding on to my weight. 3, 2, 1. Standing up. Return back to the seated position. Standing up tall. Return to seated position. I'm exhale or breathing out as I stand up. Inhale as I return. Keeping that nice control. Again, just resisting that urge to go too fast. Let's keep a little bit of control, particularly as I lower myself back down. Just sitting those hips down and back towards the chair. Last couple of times. Once more, if comfortable, do so. And down. Moving into our walking next, taking the weight into the left hand, plenty of space, 90-degree position again. I'm not too tight, shoulder feels comfortable, hold the weight, any issue, discomfort, weight down by my sides. 3, 2, 1, and I begin. Just holding the weight in position as I move up, down. Marching on the spot if I don't have space available. Again, maybe it feels okay to start. Maybe it's just going to be a little bit difficult to maintain this position. Start to get very tired. Just drop the weight down. You're still going to work the shoulder. Still going to work that body. Just maintaining the weight in position. Final couple of times, up and down for me, or just on the spot. It's going to go up and down one last time. And down. Taking hold of your second weight. Any point you need a sip of water to take a longer break, it's perfectly fine. I'm always introducing one movement to the next, just giving us a couple of points, but it's perfectly fine to just always rest as you require. I take my weights, the palms are faced in towards my body. Remember where I stretch the foot back, so my right foot, toes behind, lift the weights up. Left foot, toes back, lift the weights. If I don't like the position, I just keep it static and not adding that foot movement if that doesn't feel good. If it feels okay, just stretch the foot back, guiding toes towards floor and lifting the weights up. Just adding a little bit of movement, just going to work a little bit harder. Might feel a little bit more connection through those arms. Straight up and down. Think one head of the weight towards your shoulders. A nice straight line up and down. Simple changes, getting very tired with this one. You can just drop it down one weight at a time, and you can combine that in with the leg if you like. And of course, just keeping it static on the spot if there is too much movement here. Last couple of seconds, or final couple of repetitions. And once more, and down. I'll drop the weight down. So the next two movements, no weight required. There is a little bit of challenge just in terms of the nature of the movements. Very active in these next two movements. So just mindful if you found that difficult last time. So our boxing first. Take the hands up. Again, just nice and smooth, or else into a nice reach if you prefer. Lift the right knee, box, and then over to left. Again, a nice active movement. Just kind of feel your way in. Just a little bit of control in the first couple of repetitions. Not so fast that I'm losing control or feeling in any way unbalanced. Find that's a little bit uncomfortable. Might just go for a light reach out in front. So you can combine that with the knee lift. Lift the knee, light boxing in front. Just showing it from a different angle. Keeping good control in the position, strong, balanced. You know, there is balance coordination at play with this action. So do just take note of that. If you just weren't in any way happy and needed to just strip the arms out, absolutely fine. Last couple of seconds here. And return. Just making sure I have plenty of space for the next movement. This is where we'll add our rowing. Moving 2 steps to the right, 2 steps to the left. I can strip that back, just going side to side, or even just keep it static on the spot. Starting in a couple of seconds. I'm going to hold the arms out in front. I'm going to take 2 steps to the right, rowing each time. So let's begin. 1, 2. Start off again with a little bit of control. Don't charge in too fast. Just gradually build up. Let your body adjust. Maybe just getting more and more comfortable as you go along. Again, I have plenty of space. Maybe you don't have space for that double step. That's fine. Side to side. Maybe not liking the stepping. Just keep it static on the spot. Don't want you to overthink aside from just rowing, pulling back. You might notice I rotate the hands a little bit. But don't want to get too bogged down in those little details. But I like to add a little bit of rotation as I pull back. Find just get a little bit extra connection with the back of the body that way. So you might see me twisting the hands. But main thing, just reach forward, pull back. Step, side, side. Up and down once more. And back. 2 rounds finished. Drink of water. Ask yourself how that all feels. Everything is good. Feel comfortable, enjoying, happy with everything you're doing. Continue on as we are. Find it's a little bit tough, a little bit out of breath, pushing too hard. Don't be afraid to slow the pace down. Even if you feel 2 rounds of that workout is sufficient, no pressure to go into the 3rd round if you wanted to take it into a cool down at this point. But I'll lead us through 3rd final round. Even if you did feel comfortable, just note maybe 3rd round, feeling a little bit more tired on 1 or 2 of the actions. Don't be afraid to make a switch. And again, any movement that just doesn't feel good, make that change. So we'll start again in about 20 seconds. Take hold of your weight. Take it back to the chair. Longer break if you need. But I'm going to start off. Take weight into your 2 hands. Take that weight in front of your chest. Place the left foot forward. So left foot forward, right foot back. The purpose being we're going to work that right leg a little bit harder. 3, 2, 1. Stand up nice and tall. Return back to seated position. Stand up tall. Return to seated position. Might hear that exhale as I stand. Inhale as I return. Again, I want to actively use that chair in this movement. I'm not trying to avoid it or just tip it. I will fully sit back to the chair just because we are working that leg a little bit harder. We're just going to use that support. Again, there's control, particularly as I lower myself. I'm not falling back really quickly. That chair isn't moving back. There's a nice control. Naturally, third final round. You might start to speed up on a couple of them. Nowhere near the end, but let's just keep good control. Feeling a good challenge in my right leg. Once more, if that feels okay. And back down. Okay. Again, plenty of space. Move my chair out. Weight on the right side. Again, 90-degree position. Elbow not tight, just relaxed, comfortable. Shoulder is happy. Any discomfort, not happy with the position, drop the weight down to your side. I'll keep it up. And 3, 2, 1, I begin. Again, I would say my pace is moderate. I'm not running, moving too fast, but equally I'm not just ambling or very slowly walking. I'm just in between, a nice moderate pace. I'm active. Feel that weight, you feel the shoulder very active. Just keeping that core switched on. I'm not bending, I'm not arching, I'm not tilting to one side. Might feel the forearm, even just the physical grip of the weight becoming a little bit more challenging now. Final couple of times, up, down, or just finishing out marching on the spot. And return, bringing it back to the seated position. So we'll go through our setup, weight in my 2 hands. Now I place my right foot forward. So right foot forward, left foot is back, separated by width. The workload really through that left leg. Right in front. 3, 2, 1, begin. Standing up. Return back to seated position. Standing up. Back to seated position. Keeping that nice control again. Final round with this one. But let's keep that nice control, particularly as I lower. Feeling lots of challenge through that left leg. Right leg really just there to give a little bit of support through the position. Take it one more time if that feels comfortable. And back down. Okay. Taking my weight into your left hand next. Making sure I have plenty of space. I load the weight on the left side, about a 90-degree position. Elbow, shoulder, everything feels comfortable. If it doesn't, hold the weight down to your side instead. I'm going to keep that weight up. 3, 2, 1. Begin. One more time. Up and down. Marching on the spot if space is tight. Weight down to your side if this position is not comfortable. Now, I may not have even mentioned, but of course, if you just feel at this point weight is too much, you can of course take the weight away. For me, it's just a couple of paces up and down. working at a nice moderate pace, nothing too fast, but not too slow either. We'll finish out up and down last couple of times, or on the spot. I'm going to go up, down last time. And lower the weight. Okay. Again, course taking that sip of water as required. Good time. Get that chair out. We're going to work the arms again. So taking the weight, the palms are faced into the sides, holding your two weights. Remember where we bring the toes back. So let's begin. Right foot, toes back, lift the weights up. Left foot back, toes to the floor, weights up. Just working through the right, working through the left. Again, keeping that upper body straight. You're not leaning, not arching, anything like that. Keeping that upper body position strong. If this is difficult, uncomfortable, keep the feet static on the spot as you lift those weights. If you're getting very tired, you might just drop one arm at a time. Might notice that knee is nice and soft. Not too rigid, particularly as I step back. That front leg, knee is just nice and soft. Nice straight line, up and down, as I lift those weights up. Once more, and drop weights. Okay, two final movements. We know by now these movements are quite active. That kind of cardiovascular challenge here. Again, a pace that you can sustain, not so fast that halfway you're going to have to stop. And not so slow that you don't feel anything. So working a little bit of challenge, but enough that you can sustain. So hands up, right knee up, box with the right, and then left. So right, left. Just ease your way in, get a feel. Even though it's the third round, just make sure you're balanced, comfortable. And then you can kind of just get more and more smooth with that action. If that boxing motion uncomfortable, just go for a light reach in front instead. On the side, how that looks. Right knee up, right arm out. Right, left, right, left. You might hear those feet coming down, but I'm trying to keep it nice and light. I'm not trying to stamp down on the floor. Just down nice and light and straight back up. Last couple of seconds. We'll go 3, 2, and 1. Hand down. Final action coming up. And if you feel you need a break, doesn't matter if it's the first or last exercise, you take a longer break if required. Stepping, 2 steps to the right, 2 steps to the left, rowing each position, take it back, side to side, or just keep it static on the spot. Plenty of space. Let's begin. Arms out, step and row, over to left. Stepping side to side, rowing in each position. Should say here, knees soft again. I'm not too tight and rigid. I'm just comfortable in the position. I feel I can move very smoothly side to side. Might feel the hips getting a little bit tired on this third round. Reaching out, pulling back. A nice squeeze. I feel a little squeeze, a little connection between those shoulder blades. Just connecting with the back of the body as I pull back. Last couple of times. We're going to go side to side once more. And rest. Okay, so that is our 3 rounds finished. Very important, very active workout. Hopefully everything was okay there. We will take it into our cool down next. So might just like to start marching out very lightly on the spot. And take your sip of water if you like at this point. I'll grab mine. Okay, so just march out lightly, taking a sip of water. So we'll go through a couple of movements, just with a purpose, signaling to our body that we're starting to relax down. We're just coming out of that harder phase of work. And we'll take a couple of nice stretches along the way also. So just keep it nice and light, just continuing to march out. And we'll start to move through a couple of positions now. Okay, so let's just begin. Lightly guiding those heels in front. You can see just pace easing out. We're still active, we're still moving, but we're taking away those harder actions now. Just relax, guiding the body back to rest. Okay, and just take it back in, nice light. What I want to do next is take a step forward and just lightly raise the arm in front. So just going to the right and then over to the left. Just a nice light step. And just a nice light raise of the arm. And return. Bring it back to march. Next, I'm going to step side to side. I'm just going to physically imagine reaching or grabbing to the side. So just make sure that chair's out of my way. Step to the right and just reach. Stepping over to the left and reach. And then just return. Bring it back to march. Just giving you a little recap as I like to do. So our circuit there, a lot of cardiovascular strength work. So just building up that endurance in the lungs with a lot of movement, walking. And those last 2 movements with the boxing are side to side. So a lot of movement. But also specific strength work. So our squat variations now are sit to stand, where we work each leg very hard. We work the arms also. Shoulders very active. So any questions, any issues on that, let me know. Too hard, easy, or kind of finding it just about right. But I am always, as I say, trying to add those little bits of progression along the way, just to ensure we are kept challenged throughout. Next action, just curl those legs back. Heel towards bum, just curl the leg back. No problem. Thanks very much, Mary. Again, really do appreciate any comment along the way, just to give me a sense. You know, as I say, I'm not pushing it too far or it's not too easy, but that's what we want. A little bit of challenge, even if you find a couple of movements a little bit tough or even just a little bit hard, you know, we'd rather a little bit hard than everything being too easy where we don't get any challenge or benefit. So thanks very much. Really do appreciate the comment. Okay, so just taking it back in. Next action, just going to bring those hands in front, very lightly moving the feet now, barely lifting, just really light, elbows in front, open the right side, open the left. And again, very smooth, I'm not trying to swipe side to side, just very comfortable, very light. That feels okay, opening the 2 sides, back in. You can even just combine out a little bit of breathing if you like, inhale as you open. And exhale as you relax back in. And back in, okay? Again, just lightly tap those heels in front. And what I want to do next is just take a nice stretch of the back of the leg, hamstring. So I'm going to turn to my chair. You might like the chair for support, so you can have it nearby if you like. Maybe you're comfortable without. I'll place hands on the hips. I straighten my right leg, so I'm on the heel, and I just sit the hips back. So I get a lovely stretch in the back of the leg. But if I feel uncomfortable, I'll just use that chair. Just hold for a couple of seconds here. And take it back in. Opposite side. Hands on the hips for me. Left leg out on the heel. Sit it back. Stretching back that leg. And you'll see that body is straight. If you find yourself bending, that's when I'd suggest maybe just take hold of that chair. We want to keep that upper body position straight. And back in. Okay, just shake the legs out. Right leg out, heel down, toes up. Sit the hips back. And feel a stretch back of that leg, that straightened leg. Take it back in. Left leg, heel down, toes up. Sit the hips back. Stretching the back of that straightened leg. Hold for a couple of seconds. Back in. Shaking the legs out. Okay, just taking hands in front next. Going to straighten those arms out, push forward. Already might feel a nice stretch around the upper body here, the back of the upper body. And then just pull back. And now feel a squeeze between shoulder blades. Stretch the arms forward, hold. Pull back. Again, stretch the arms forward, hold. Pull back. And I'm just going to hold a little bit longer this last time. Stretch forward, hold. Pull back and hold. And relax down, okay? Just going to take it into a little bit of breathing next. Keep it really nice, really light here. Just want to open the arms out to the side. Inhale. Release air, relax the arms back down. It's just a really nice, relaxing movement, taken from a seated position if you prefer. Well, how it looks for me. Inhale, open the arms. Slowly release. Reset, inhale. And exhale. Twice more. Once more. Okay, so that concludes our workout today. Thanks very much to everyone tuned in. Any questions on that, just let me know. Back again next Wednesday, same time, 10 o'clock. So enjoy the rest of your week and hopefully enjoy the workout. Thanks very much.